when you don't get the improvement, it's one of my biggest values, then it kills me inside. And I think the last 6 months we haven't had that improvement. I think it's best for the club that new energy is coming in after the season. And now we can really focus on 5 in a row.
Ronny Deila's frank assessment of his own performance. The Celtic manager is entering the final fortnight of his 2-year spell in charge. Despite his own reservations about performances, Ronny can still clinch another title today. A year ago, Hearts lifted the Championship trophy. From their first season back in the Premiership, they aspired to finish in the top 6. As they moved up, they ripped up that wish list. The next target was Europe. If they hit that, can they now finish as runners-up? This could be the day that Celtic crossed the finish line in the Ladbrokes Premiership. If you're out and about, you can enjoy the action from Tynecastle on your laptop, tablet or mobile using Sky Go. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy it on Sky Sports 1 HD. Now, the champions-elect are 9 points clear with 4 games to go. If Celtic win more points than Aberdeen do this afternoon, then the title will be over this afternoon. Otherwise, it rolls over to next Sunday when Aberdeen goes to Parkhead. That one is, of course, live on Sky Sports. Important games then in the top and bottom 6 sections today. Aberdeen kick off against Motherwell at 3. Down at the bottom, Hamilton will be safe if they beat Kilmarnock. So the Celtic manager is leaving after underperforming in Europe and in the domestic cups, but he should still clinch the title today. Bizarre circumstances, but then it has been a strange period in Scottish football history. Former Hearts hero Neil McCann is joined today by a man who added skill and tremendous power to the midfield of Celtic's treble-winning team of 15 years ago. He won 9 trophies as a player, including 4 league titles, and he lifted the trophy again in 2012 as first-team coach. It's a very warm welcome to the great Alan Thompson. Alan, great to see you back up again. What do you make of this strange set of circumstances today then, with Celtic pushing in on the title, but with the distraction of the manager?
Yeah, obviously it's been a distraction, and you look at it, it's had a bit of an effect on Man City when they announced that Pellegrini was going to be leaving. It had an effect on their title charging. It hasn't affected Celtic too much, but it certainly affected them a little bit because they have stumbled a little bit in the last few weeks. In
your view, is it right for Deila to go?
Yeah, I think it is. I think if you look at when he came in 2 years ago, there hasn't been a lot of progress. And as a board member or a fan, you want to see progress in a football club. And I don't think there's been enough of that in the last 2 years since Ronnie's been in.
Did it affect them last week, the news of Ronny Deila's departure, when they drew 1-1 at home to Ross County?
I'm not sure if it affected their performance, because I think the performances were heading in that direction. I think it affected the crowd. Look at the empty seats behind there. And the most worrying thing for a Celtic fan that made their way to the game and watched this, and indeed the ones who would have caught the highlights, is how many chances Ross County created in this match. Now, out with that goal, they just created chance and good chances upon chance, and that is not known against a real solid Celtic team. If you looked at Celtic, David, taking Tierney and Griffiths away, you couldn't automatically come up with a player of the year. I mean, normally you're getting maybe 5, 6 guys that you could choose from. It just hasn't happened, so that is a clear weakness of a team that hasn't, as Alan said, progressed.
What do you think has to change apart from the manager at Celtic?
They have to look at the big picture, as I've already said about the progress. They have to look at the backroom setup, then they have to look at the scouting network to take the club forwards, because they have to win the title, and then this club demands football after Christmas, so in Europe. So to do that, they need to sign better players, probably spend more money. If they want to get to the nuts and bolts of it, to move forwards, they need to spend more money.
Do you think that Rangers coming back in will force Celtic into spending big, or do they need to?
They'll spend more, I think, but I just think it's going to be great on the whole for Scottish football, the fact that Rangers are coming back in, maybe Hibs might be coming back up, so it'll just make for a more interested and a better Scottish Premier League.
What they need to do, David, is spend more money, of course, but it's the attraction of a quality of player that will take Celtic where they want to go into the Champions League group stages. With Rangers back in the league and a more competitive setup, and that attraction of the Old Firm game again, players want to play in that environment. Players all over the world know about that fixture. So the attraction of that fixture being back will maybe just get that calibre of player that Celtic fans revere over the years, like the Canios and all these sort of boys. That might just be the difference.
Well, let's have a look at the teams ahead of what is always a fantastic encounter, no matter the circumstances. Hearts have made 3 changes. for the side that lost at Motherwell. Both full-backs, Callum Pattison and Liam Smith, drop out. Blaise Augustin is into a back three. In on the right comes Don Cowie. Wide left, Juwon Oshaniwa is back after a ban. Sam Nicholson drops to the bench. Injury problems for Celtic. Stefan Johansson is still out with a heel injury. Charlie Mulgrew's hamstring injury rules him out. Effie Ambrose starts for only the 13th time this season. In midfield, Tom Rogic. He makes way for Callum McGregor. Well, let's see what Ronny Deila's mood is like this afternoon. A big afternoon for him and for Celtic. Here he is right now with Luke Shenley.
Ronnie, what gives you the confidence that Celtic can win today?
Because we have done it many times before, and yeah, it's a long time since we lost in the league. So we are had a hard week last week, but now we had a good week with good training and everything calm, and everybody is now focusing to do it today.
Have you had to try and re-energise the squad or get a spark back into the dressing room after the last week or so?
It was, as I said, the week before was happening a lot of things, but now we know that's settled, and we had, as I said, very good trainings, and I can see in the boys' eyes that this means something today.
Hearts have changed the formation again today like they did a month ago. How do you try and get at them here at Tynecastle?
We know what they're coming with, so that's a good thing. And we won the last time as well, so we just have to do the things whether we did good there, even better, and defend well. That's also important.
Enjoy the game.
You too. Thank you.
So Ronnie should leave a champion, and that should tie it up today, but let's look at his record compared to the last 5 Celtic managers. These in all competitions. The win ratio at the right there is the important one. Martin O'Neill, top of the pile with 76%. Neil Lennon on 70%, and then Gordon Strachan on 65%. Ronny Deila is in above Tony Mowbray. Ronnie on 63%, but I'd remind you that he's never played Rangers in the league, and nor has he led Celtic in the Champions League, where it's tougher to get those wins. Alan, what kind of man do you think Celtic need to take over here now? And do you have a name in mind?
I think there's going to be lots of names branded around, but in terms of what kind of man, I think it's going to have to be someone who's got a knowledge of Scottish football, first and foremost. I think Ronnie coming in, he didn't really know much about it at all, probably watched it from a distance. I think probably someone who's got a knowledge of the game, and what's required when you come into the city of Glasgow in terms of working at a big football club like Celtic, because it might have took Ronny Deila 3-4 months to get used to it, but it's got to be someone who's got to be able to hit the ground running, because you'll have the Champions League qualifiers, etc. So it's going to need a big personality and someone's got a good knowledge of the Scottish game. The
managerial odds took a major turn when Paul Lambert announced that he's departing Blackburn Rovers at the end of the season. Davy Moyes still in there, of course. Michael O'Neill, Northern Ireland manager after Euro 2016. You would presume that's a late start for him. Malky Mackay in there, Stevie Clark, Brendan Rodgers and Neil Lennon, your old gaffer and your old teammate. Does Paul Lambert seem like a natural choice to you? Among the natural choices on that list?
Well, there's a lot of good choices on that list. I know Paul will certainly be interested in it, announcing he's coming out of Blackburn when he is in a couple of weeks' time. I think Michael O'Neill will be putting his case forward as well, the job he's done with Northern Ireland, and he'll have a good knowledge of the game down south in England as well in terms of players, Michael, because the last few years doing the job he's been doing, he watches a lot of football. So he's another one who'll be staking his claim, I'm sure.
Yeah, Michael O'Neill certainly has got the best out of the players available to him at Northern Ireland, that's for sure, and at Shamrock Rovers before that. Let's look at the Celtic players on today. Well, I don't think there's any doubt about who's going to win the Player of the Year award when the players and the PFA Scotland meet tomorrow in Scotland. He's been unrivalled this year, Neil, but what can he do to add to his game, to progress even further and become an established Scotland starter?
Well, what he needs to do is to take him to the international scene and prove that he can do it there. Obviously, when he gets that opportunity, he needs to show up. But I think playing in Champions League football and at the top level of European football will bring that game on. I think surrounding himself with better players, because the one thing that I learned throughout my career is when you're playing alongside top players, then your game improves. It definitely does. So maybe he could be given a hand by that, because without doubt Lee is a very talented boy. He's a real natural goal striker in terms of his poaching ability, going behind, he'll come off and link a game. But Alan, you might think he's got something different. I don't know what he needs to add to your game as a coaching point of view.
I think particularly, he's one who he entertains the centre-halves. He doesn't particularly get involved around the halfway line or just progressing up the pitch. He comes alive in the final third, so he needs chances. He might create himself a chance himself and score a goal, but on the whole, I think to progress, like Neil's just mentioned, to the national team and the higher level European football, he's going to have to develop his game in terms of not just in the final third of the pitch.
Well, it has been wonderful this season, and he could hit the 30-goal mark in the league this afternoon. Talking of 30 years ago this very week, Hearts and Celtic both took the title to the final day of the season. Next, we remember some magic moments.
It ranks up there as the best.
It was a horrendous feeling, that's for sure.
It was surreal.
It could have been, it was so close. The rest of it is history.
To be on Sky Sports. Today we're at Tynecastle for Hearts v Celtic. Now, 30 years ago this week, these sides battled for the Premier Division title on the final day of the season. Hearts needed just a point, Celtic needed a miracle.
It ranks up there as the best.
It was a horrendous feeling, that's for sure.
It's like the LA Lakers, Chicago Bulls, the Yankees.
It's a sore one, and it was a sore one at the time.
It was surreal.
It could have been, it was so close.
The marbles all came down to the final game. Hearts at Dundee, Celtic at Love Street.
We went to Dundee that day, with a 2-point lead, and we had, a better goal difference as well. So, really the ball was in our court big time.
Hearts at that moment in time were the best team. Did we have better players? I thought we did.
We had a brilliant group of guys, a brilliant manager, a brilliant assistant manager.
So I walked off the bus, walked into the dressing room. Davey's got everything all around. Hearts for this, Hearts for that, championships won. Davey just says, listen, just look, take a look. That's all I'm going to say. If that's not enough to motivate you, get out there and win that championship.
Don't think anybody took anything for granted, that's for sure. And we just wanted the game to get started.
Score a goal, Brian McClare, great header. Then I got another goal.
It's well documented, the first half was 0-0. Early part of the game, we should have had a Stonewall penalty, no doubt. And if the penalty is given and we score, is it a different game? Do we win the league? We'll never know that.
Then the unbelievable goal, all the way from the back, 8-9 passes, wide, nutmeg, cross, and then tap in into the corner. You could never buy a goal like that.
We knew that Celtic were winning the game, and we knew, well, it was 0-0, things were fine.
Then we score another goal, and then we get the fifth goal, which is the deciding goal. That's the goal that we needed.
It's when the goal went in. It's when the first goal went in, that's when the balance of power suddenly went the other way. The nature of football, you probably open up a little bit. We're trying to get back in the game, especially the circumstances we were in that day. And that left us maybe a little bit exposed at the other end.
Hearts are getting beat 1-0. Then all of a sudden, bang, the stadium erupts. It's 2-0.
Albert kid, I know he enjoyed it for whatever reason, which is a fairly obvious reason, I think. Time moves on.
We win the championship, everybody's going crazy, we're still on the field. I've got a pair of boots on, I've got a pair of jockeys on, and that's all I had. I got stripped. They taken my jersey off me, my shorts off me. There was mayhem. For me, it was unbelievable.
It was a sadness. You don't have any divine right to win any game. And on the day, we couldn't quite produce the last little bit. The rest of it is history. It's still painful, but it's gone now, and I keep saying it, credit to Celtic.
That's what Celtic do, win championships. That's what we were about. And at the end of the day, when you step up to that period, that moment in time, it ranks up there, special, very special. Big players step up at big moments. And for me, all our team stepped up at that moment. And to win 5-0 was unbelievable.
What an afternoon that was. Maurice Johnston says that's his favourite title victory and also his favourite career goal. I wonder if he's been invited to the anniversary dinner at Celtic Park. It's not known whether the invitation made it through. Is that a reminder of what we've been missing the past 4 or 5 years or so? Those end of season, you know, helicopter Sundays type events.
Yeah, without a doubt. And days like that go down in Scottish folklore, and I've been on the wrong end of one as well. A bit like Sandy Clark just spoke about there, and as you just said, helicopter Sunday. And they stay with you for a long time and leave a bitter taste in your mouth when you lose them. I've lost 2 on the final day, one at Kilmarnock, one at Motherwell, so it makes the ones you do win all the more sweeter.
Yeah, that really was a fantastic and historic day for Celtic, no doubt about that. Neil Lennon, let's look at Neil McCann, let's look at what we're going to get this afternoon. Neil Lennon in the head after the managerial stars. What about this game today? You've had a look at the Hearts formation. Are they going to go for Celtic today?
I think they've took a lot of encouragement from the performance over at Celtic Park in the last game, where they absolutely dominated the first half. They've maybe looked at Dundee and Ross County. Dundee have had 2 draws against them, playing a 3 at the back. Ross County, a draw at the weekend, playing a 3 at the back, and of course the League Cup as well. So it's definitely a formation that Celtic have found difficult to play against. I think that's why Celtic have gone maybe the 3 right up top to try and combat that and pin the wing backs back. But it's something that Robbie Neilson will 100% have worked on. It's been such a brilliant season, I think, for Hearts to come back to the Premiership and acquit themselves, not just well, but fantastically well. To gain a European spot, as we were speaking about earlier, is an exceptional season. And they've got players that can hurt Celtic.
What does their new signing, their January signing, Perry Kitchen, add to the heat of the midfield battle?
Well, it can add that real dig in the middle of the park. I think most successful sides will have a bit of steel in there.
Stainless steel?
Yeah, stainless steel from the kitchen. And he'll go in, he'll be physical. I think he's picked up 3 bookings in the last 4 games, so he'll rough it up. And then that'll let the creative players around him go in and try and perform. But he's got a stature about him. I think he'll take a little bit of time to breathe into the Scottish game as well, because coming from the States, I don't think it'll have anywhere near the physicality and pace we enjoy over here in Scotland. But I think he's starting to settle in there, and he'll be a good addition to the team.
Well, a year ago this weekend, Hearts lifted the Championship trophy. Let's hear how Robbie is feeling today. He's with Luke Shanley.
Robbie, do you feel Celtic are vulnerable today and you can get at them?
Well, we hope so. You know, obviously a good team, the top of the league. Looks like they're going for a title, but we know when they come to Tynecastle, it's always a difficult game for them. Hopefully we can give them a tough game and get 3 points for us.
At the start of the month at Celtic Park, you changed your formation to go at Celtic. Is that something you've considered and done today? Yeah,
we've looked at 2 formations today, so we've got the option to change it during the game if we need be, and that's why we've kind of changed the personnel a little bit as well. It gives us that flexibility to change it in game, and we're going to go and have a good go at them.
It's been a great season, first season back. Are the players now maybe playing for their futures in terms of making sure they're in your squad for next season?
No, to be honest, I know what I need and what I want to keep here. You know, winning games not going to make any difference to me from that point of view, but you know, the players want to win. You know, it's a full house today, huge crowd for us, good atmosphere, and we want to win the game.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the atmosphere is already building. Robbie Neilson certainly up for it. Celtic, of course, this could be the day that they clinch the title if they pick up more points than Aberdeen do on the day. Hearts could still pinch second spot for the Dons, but realistically, they'd need to win all of their final 4 games. A pivotal game is live next.